They can expect to have a lot of leadership opportunities within the school system and a lot of memorable experiences. I definitely think that they'll be pushed out of their comfort zone, but in the best way possible, and I feel as if these students are going to have so many opportunities that they wouldn't have without the ambassador program. The atmosphere within the program is definitely welcoming and inviting, and you always are going to have someone to talk to. They should be very excited, and one thing that I'm going to tell you guys to sign up for and participate in is the Young Leaders Conference and the mentoring program. These two opportunities have been the most memorable for me and the most fun experience that I've had within the program. The most fun part about being an ambassador is getting to work with your friends in different leadership opportunities.
So my background, I'm a classroom teacher, I'm an information technology specialist, and I'm also a school librarian and media coordinator. And I miss being able to read books for the fun of books. And I knew that there were a lot of kids that needed to practice and see other kids enjoy reading. So I invited like 12 kids, and I think there are 10 kids in the club. So we meet after school once a week. It's not scripted academics, and these kids of different grade levels. I got 4th and 5th grade because one of my 5th grade students was a 4th grader last year. She's like, I want to do that. And then a couple of her friends were like, well, can we do it too? I was like, yeah, let's do this. So between the 4th and 5th grade, we've been able to look at the world from 2 different grade levels, and you've got older kids helping the younger kids.
So when you enter my classroom, I hope, whether you're another student or a staff or another adult or someone from the community, I hope that you don't see it as a teacher and students, because all of my students are teachers and leaders. When we come in my classroom, it's a classroom family, and I obviously want school to be a safe place. And so, we laugh together, we struggle together, we celebrate each other, I think it's important for kids to know that even your teacher is not perfect. It really hits hard as a teacher to think about, 6 and 7-year-olds. They don't know what normal school looks like. And, school is a special place full of experiences and friendships. And so, it's even more important for us as teachers to not only love them and teach them, but to teach them the skills they need to be successful when they are out in our community and in the world.
I think all the students at West Marion are making great strides and great growth. Just being back in the classroom and having a teacher to help them. Our working parents, they struggled during virtual, and I just think just being back in the atmosphere has helped. Watching this group grow has been my favorite, because they came in with some deficits, and now they're excited about reading, and they want to show me. They love to show Mr. Mattingly how much they've grown with their reading. This has been my most rewarding year.
I think my favorite part has been, because we're almost at the end of the year, seeing where we started, and kids that came to me and didn't know how to write their name are now reading, like confidently reading and talking about what they're reading, and they're excited about reading.
They can expect to have a lot of leadership opportunities within the school system and a lot of memorable experiences. I definitely think that they'll be pushed out of their comfort zone, but in the best way possible, and I feel as if these students are going to have so many opportunities that they wouldn't have without the ambassador program. The atmosphere within the program is definitely welcoming and inviting, and you always are going to have someone to talk to. They should be very excited, and one thing that I'm going to tell you guys to sign up for and participate in is the Young Leaders Conference and the mentoring program. These two opportunities have been the most memorable for me and the most fun experience that I've had within the program. The most fun part about being an ambassador is getting to work with your friends in different leadership opportunities.
So my background, I'm a classroom teacher, I'm an information technology specialist, and I'm also a school librarian and media coordinator. And I miss being able to read books for the fun of books. And I knew that there were a lot of kids that needed to practice and see other kids enjoy reading. So I...
It's officially 5:30, so I'm going to go ahead and call this special meeting of the Marion County Board of Education to order. And I need a motion on item 1A.
I'll make a motion to approve May 17, 2022 board meeting agenda.
All in favor?
Aye.
I don't see any student ambassadors, but would any of our wonderful cheer team members be willing to come up and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Miss Allison Essex.
I'm also a student ambassador. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Y'all just stand. Did I say ready, pledge? Attention, salute, pledge. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right. Our next item on the agenda is communications, and we lead right into the Marion County High School cheer team recognition.
Like Ms. Truitt said, we've got Coach Weiser and her cheerleading squad here tonight, and Coach Weiser is going to tell you a little bit about last season and what she plans on doing this summer. And we also got students she's going to recognize who has signed with Campbellsville University to continue cheering for next season. Coach Weiser.
So, like Mr. Holt said, I'm Emily Weiser, and I am the head cheer coach at Marion County High School. We were really excited. We got to go to lots of away games this year, and after coming off of COVID seasons and things like that, that was a lot of fun, and the girls really enjoyed getting to travel with the team and getting to cheer here and away. We've had the pleasure of having one of our foreign exchange students, Miss Fiona, back there from Denmark, as part of our team this year. She said it was her American dream to be an American cheerleader, and so we were happy to make that happen for her. But we've had an excellent season, and I couldn't be more proud of these ladies. We have lots of ladies on the team who also participate in competitive cheer on other teams as part of what they do outside of school. So and then we have Miss Gracie Morrison here, and Gracie's going to tell you what her plans are next year.
I have a cheer and academic scholarship signed with Campbellsville University in the fall, and I'm super excited. So
Congratulations.
Yes, we're really excited. Over the last few seasons, we've been really blessed to send a few of our girls to secondary institutions to cheer. So we've had some at Lindsay Wilson, and we can't forget Lily at UK. So she just made the blue team. She texted us yesterday, blue squad. She texted us yesterday, so she's very excited about that. But we're hosting tryouts right now, and we should have our new team announced tomorrow. We're really, really excited. So thank you guys.
Thank you all so much for what you do.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
The next item on our agenda is item 3B, and that's public comment. Unfortunately, Mr. Knight could not be here with us tonight, but he was coming to speak. He's got his oldest son, I think, Will Knight, is a
a member of the swim team, or at least he has been until he's a senior this year. And so Mr. Knight was coming to advocate for the creation or establishment of a booster club for the swim team. And so I think we'll deal with that later in the agenda. But congrats on being at Senior Award, Mr. Knight, and we will continue on. Item 3C is the superintendent's report, and I'll hand it over to Mr. Randolph.
May 17 superintendent report. Under facility improvement, specifically the MCHS renovation project, the construction portion of phase 1 of the MCHS renovation project is continuing. HVAC, ductwork, utility upgrades, interior masonry are in various stages of completion. The western addition interior walls are currently being constructed with the required utility infrastructure installation progressing on that section concurrently. Interior stud walls are currently being installed in the renovated portion of phase 1. And by the way, today they started drywall, a couple days ago actually, so really developed today. Exterior electric and sewer upgrades are in various stages of completion. Planning for addition, I shouldn't say additional, grammar, water pressure to provide adequate fire suppression to MCHS is continuing. And Mr. Peterson, our building principal, is doing a very good job of this, is developing what I'm calling a fluid plan for the movement of faculty and classrooms as construction progresses from one phase to the next. And he's not here. He's actually got the awards ceremony tonight. The Calgary Elementary construction and Lebanon Elementary renovation projects. Design development of both projects is set for board acceptance and approval at the May board meeting. The West Marion Elementary and Glasscock Elementary Schools HVAC renovation projects. HVAC infrastructure work is occurring at West Marion Elementary School daily after instructional hours are complete. The contractor is cleaning and restoring the building around 4 to 5 a.m. every day so that there's no interference for instructional school year. And under finance, the district annual tentative budget has been completed and will be submitted at the May 2022 board meeting. Under personnel, the district has received and made the following personnel moves or adjustments. 11 certified individuals were appointed for summer learning. 6 classified individuals were appointed for summer learning. 2 certified and classified employees submitted resignations. 4 certified staff submitted retirement intentions. 2 classified staff were employed for the remainder of the 2021-22 school year separate from the summer learning folks. And 5 certified staff were hired for homebound instruction for the remainder of the school. Under academic improvement, the spring testing window opened for the district on May 10 and continues through May 24. And then the superintendent.
Thank you very much. Any questions, Mr. Randolph? Okay. Moving on to item 3D, and that's our attendance and enrollment report. Mr. Lyons.
Good evening. All right, so our numbers on today's stand, we have got a total of 3285. And I'm going to start from the bottom up, just to mix things up, make it just kind of crazy tonight. QC Spalding showing 213, 611 at the Marion County High School, and 497 at the Knight Academy, the middle school at 480. And then if you look over, including preschool, we've got 431 at West Marion, 347 at Lebanon Elementary, 468 at Glasscock, and 238 at Calgary. So, next slide. So you can see our monthly attendance. This is per month. So far in the month of May, we're still below what we were 2 years ago, but of course, there's a lot of factors involved in that. Next slide. And this is year to date. So that would be through yesterday's date, showing our current attendance for the year at each school and about 93 for the entire year. And the next slide shows your daily. And you can see the red indicates, of course, that it was below what was previously. We had one little window of green there, and the rest is all red. So we're continuing pretty much the pattern that we've seen on it. And the last slide will show you how many days we have completed, the days we have remaining, and our last day for students being May 27th, last day for staff being June 1st. Any questions?
According to my kids in my household, there are 8 instructional days remaining now. Yes, countdown's on. It's on and it's fierce. Thank you very much.
Tim, could I ask you something on UC Spalding? Do you know, like, have any numbers about next year, any predictions, estimates?
Well, we're currently in the process of evaluating the entrance criteria for that, so I don't have any hard numbers. I do know that K through 5, since the board did not do a waiver on that, K through 5 seems to be an option for families for virtual next year. So anything we have would be 6 and 12.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else? Mr. Spalding, finance report.
Looking at the April receipts, again, kind of following the trend we've been following. We're in good shape. Our receipts are up over the year. Looking through 31% over last year, this time in property tax. Utility tax is also 31%. In lieu of, we did receive our payment for the Maker's Mark since the last board meeting, so you'll see there that we are at, last year we collected $134,000. Combined this year it's at $184,000. That should continue, hopefully to increase as they continue to build warehouses. And so that's in lieu of, they don't pay property tax on those 16 warehouses or 6 in Colorado and 10 that will eventually be built, currently some are under construction and are open at the Brown Corner property. So that's what that's directed at. Interest is up over last year. A lot of this has to do with being a little bit heavier balance, so the rate's the same. Seek, again, we talk about this every month, but we'll get away from this a couple more months, but we had December of 2020, the state used some extra funds like seek payments, so it's actually in fund 2, so you got to put the caveat to know where that's at. So Medicaid's up, that's got to deal with, we have in-person instruction, so there's a lot more liable bill of expenses. And the big thing on the other is tuition, preschool tuition this year. I have actually sold some surplus equipment and other things like that. The majority of that is from tuition collection. Looking at the expenses, again, most of these are going to be up, and the majority of that's going to be due to either salary increases, utility rates are up, and also fuel and basically everything's up. Inflation's up, cost of repairs, things like that. So overall, we end the month. Our receipts this month through the year was $21.5 million versus $18.5 for the prior year, so we're up there by $3 million. But also the receipts are up 2.2, so we're in about $800,000 that did compared to this time last year. I want to pass out this kind of trend data thing that we started using back in the fall, and it was these are the more of the larger expenses that we have in the district. This was a great tool for me to use to look at when I build the tentative budget to kind of make sure if there's any increases. So going out there and looking, I use this greatly for electricity and trash, especially in the utility section. We've been up in those, obviously the gasoline and diesel, and some repair and maintenance areas. So as we continue to renovate our buildings and put the new PDCs in, Glasscock and West Marion, things this summer, we're hoping we can get that repair and maintenance down and put new equipment in, as well as utility costs. We'll have more efficient equipment.
So we are essentially more than doubled our diesel expenses.
That's correct. We're averaging somewhere, just getting students to and from school, about $700 in addition in diesel per day. That's not counting trips or anything like that. It's just to and from school, spending about $700 more per day.
I guess whenever you look back to the original 18-19 though, I mean, we're quite the ballpark.
Correct. You know, you got to look those 2 middle years where COVID, we went home early, and then last year was some in and out years. It's true, you know, we had more true ups and things of that nature too, so.
Is there an estimate of what it's gonna be probably by the end of the year total?
For us, I can look at my tentative budget to you, and this is 10 a month, that's gonna be 12, you know, my forecasting on that.
Do we still get, fuel at a contract?
We do, we have a contract, so, the current rate price does impact that, but it's still cheaper than what any of us would pay at pump price. And we're also, the district doesn't pay what's called federal excise tax, so that's off the top as well, but we still get it cheaper than what we could remove the tax at pump.
Other questions? Next item on the agenda is item 4A, and I need a motion.
Make a motion to consider approval of fiscal year 23 emergency provisional certification for teachers and substitute teachers.
Second. Questions here?
Well, actually, what I prefer to do, since he's the one that runs through Frankfurt, is ask Mr. Brady to address it.
So each year, we just need the permission from the board, essentially, for your approval, for us to request that to the state. So each time a teacher who would qualify for emergency certification, whether that be a full-time teacher or a substitute teacher, I actually have to go into their application and put the date and the board order that you all did to approve that. So it's just for future use, so that in the upcoming year, in the event that we need to employ a teacher who will be under emergency certificate, they do require that you all have given us permission to do it.
I think Mr. Brady's last comment is the most important thing, that the board is aware that it's happening.
Other questions? All in favor? Aye. I need a motion on item 4B.
Make a motion to consider approval of the 22-23 ELL English Language Learner Policy and Procedures Plan.
Second.
Questions here?
Right on next one. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna ask on page 14, it was in red MAP testing. That means that you're gonna do something else besides that?
Yes, that, I worked with the EL, I'm sorry about that, it will be our iReady data, but we currently use, as we data access, that these students who come to us, we do a screener to see what their proficiency is in comprehension, speaking, and listening. And based on that, that's where the qualifications come in, it's on a scale of 1 to 6. So if they get a 4.5 or higher, they exit the program, but anything lower than that, then they receive services from our 2 EL instructors, certified teachers. And they also take our KSA test as well. So these students are heavily tested, but we're trying to get them where they need to be with their proficiency of speaking and comprehension. This past month, we actually received a Portuguese family, so we're really working hard to any communications that go out from district level or any forms that we are able to have them in Spanish, because that's our biggest population, but not Spanish is, across the board. There's lots of dialects when it comes to it. Most of our EL students are also migrant students where their parents moved here for work. Fuel total is a big one for us with our Guatemalan families. Well, they speak Spanish, but it's a totally different dialect. So we're having issues trying to get to where we need to be. We have language line in place for them as well, but this coming up school year, we have that one PD day district-wide, and part of that day will be heavily influenced on our EL kiddos of differentiating instruction for them. We have a lot of supports in. We've worked with Ms. Badgett as well with some ESSER funds because they are a targeted learning loss group to put supports in them to get them where they need to be as well. So
I just wondered because
yes, it's iReady.
I thought you meant
yeah.
And I know that's important so that if there is
we're actually
educational loss,
right,
make sure it's not
right. And next year we are looking to test them in the fall in their native language, our Spanish-speaking kiddos, just so we know exactly where they are at if they're able to speak their and read their language. So, thank you. You're welcome.
Other questions here? All in favor? Aye. Item 4C, I'll make a motion. I make a motion that we consider approval of the first reading of the revision to policy number 9.12, admissions and attendance. And this is just the first reading, so we will get another opportunity before we officially approve this policy revision.
This is in reference to the House Bill 563.
Any questions here?
Mr. Lyons needs to be commended for his groundwork on putting this together.
Thank you. Thank you.
Will we be able to tell if it's good or bad for us?
It's
It will be good. It's gonna be good.
I mean, I
Should be good with the way they're doing the seat funding.
yeah. Other questions, comments here? Okay, all in favor? Aye. I need a motion on item 4D.
I make a motion to consider approval of a resolution of the Marion County Board of Education to conduct its facilities-related projects and affairs under the provisions of House Bill 678 enacted during the 2022 regular session of the Kentucky General Assembly.
Second. And I have to read this resolution, but my computer just froze up, so thank you very much. All right. A resolution of the Marion County Board of Education electing to conduct its facilities-related projects and affairs under the provisions of House Bill 678 enacted during the 2022 regular session of the Kentucky General Assembly. Whereas on April 8th, 2022, Governor Andy Beshear signed 2022 regular session House Bill 678, hereinafter HB 678, into law, making it effective immediately at that time pursuant to the emergency clause in Section 8 of the bill. And whereas HB 678 provides great flexibilities to local boards of education related to the funding, financing, design, construction, renovation, or modification of the district facilities and other facilities-related matters, notwithstanding certain requirements for obtaining the prior approval of the Kentucky Department of Education or the Kentucky Board of Education as stated in various statutes and administrative regulations. And whereas the provisions of HB 678 generally apply from April 8th, 2022 until June 30th, 2024, and also apply retroactively to submissions and requests that have been made by local boards prior to the effective date of the act, but that have not yet received approval from the appropriate board or official. And whereas HB 678 requires a local board that elects to conduct its projects under the provisions of the bill to adopt a resolution by majority vote and submit the resolution to the Kentucky Department of Education as a notice. Now therefore be it resolved by the Marion County Board of Education on a motion by Joey Lee, seconded by Debbie Spalding. The board hereby resolves as follows. By majority vote, the board has elected to conduct its projects under the provisions of HB 678, and this resolution is being submitted to the Kentucky Department of Education as no proposed action adopted by the board this 17th day of May 2022, attested by Gary Truitt, Chair of the Board. Questions on this? All in favor? Aye. Item 5. Any motion on item 5A?
I'll make a motion to consider approval of field trips.
I'll say.
Any questions here? No questions? All in favor? I need a motion on item 5B.
Make a motion to consider approval of recognition of Swim Team Booster Club.
Second.
Questions?
No, I'm just looking for my second.
Here you go, Mr. Knight. All in favor? Aye. I need a motion on item 5C.
Consider a motion to consider approval of 2022-23 salary schedule.
I'll second.
Mr. Spalding, would you like to detail maybe the highlights the salary, did he leave?
He said no.
All right. All right. So, yeah. Mr. Randolph, Mr. Brady. I think the big piece that people want to know, the salary schedule includes a 2% raise for certified staff and a 50 cents on the hour raise for classified staff. I think there are also additional considerations in here with regard to substitute teacher daily rate salary schedule. A lot of consideration was given by the board to maintain our competitive standing with surrounding districts, and we also got some feedback from our retired teachers that we took strongly into consideration. We are still incredibly grateful because our retired teachers helped save our butts during COVID. So thank you to all of you all who have come kind of out of retirement and stepped back into the classroom to help the kids of our district. We absolutely positively know that you do it for the love of the work and the love of the kids, and so we are forever grateful for that. Any other things I've missed?
Alden did do a survey of surrounding districts to compare. And while somewhere in his stack of papers right there, the exact numbers are essentially the actual amounts we compare very favorably to. Over a 2-year period, I think Nelson County may have given 1.6% more over a 2-year period than we have. And other than that, everything is pretty much middle of the road with all the other surrounding counties we actually touch. On salary schedule, and as you pointed out, the items such as substitute pay and stuff like that were raised to match most of the surrounding districts to make that competitive.
Other questions?
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
opportunity to comment.
Take it away.
Of course, I'm going to vote for approval. Do you want to give Scott a chance to say anything?
Sorry. We covered it. We got you.
I just wanted to express appreciation to the staff and acknowledge what they've gone through the last couple of years. Classified staff. My grandchildren have volunteered a lot at school this year, and I want to express appreciation to all those custodians, all the classified people. I am of the belief, and maybe call this hope, but I'm of the belief that we can do better in the future. I know we've done great with our classified staff. We've given them, what, $2.50 an hour increase. And I know that we compare favorably with the surrounding districts. However, by comparison to community standards, I did a little bit of research on my own. It's not the official research, but it is with data. And average in our local factories, average starting pay is about $15 an hour. This is people off the street with no experience, about $15 an hour. In other government entities, city and county in particular, average starting pay is between 14 going to 16, I understand, for people who are hired off the street with no experience. I would like, it bothered me a little bit that it takes our classified people 10 years sometimes to get to $15 an hour. And I would like to see us, although we've done a lot, I would like to see us do more, and I hope that we can for the classified folks in the future. You know, the seat funding was increased to 2.5%. We gave most of that, we could say, as a salary increase. And so I just want to urge, well, mainly I want to thank those people who stayed with us and care so much about our kids, about each other, to do the best job they can with sometimes pay that doesn't compare favorably with the rest of our community. And I understand surrounding, we compare well to districts surrounding us, but you know, there is a thing that just because everybody else is wrong doesn't mean we have to be wrong too. So my hope is that we can lead the way in the future and maybe even do better for our classified staff. Those people who struggle, cost of consumer price index increased by 6.8% last year. You know, it cost them twice in gas to get to work than it did 2 years ago. Grocery prices, everybody knows what's happened there. So I just, while I appreciate the increase, and I'm going to support it, of course, and I just hope we can do better in the future for classified. And what I want to say about certified staff is the same thing, how much we appreciate. I know how difficult it is to teach children who come from dysfunctional homes, who have had to deal with the pandemic, who I know how difficult it is to handle bullying and discipline in the classrooms. It's a constant struggle, and I want to thank our teachers for dealing with that in the best possible way and keeping hope and keeping the faith and keeping the struggle going. So I would like to see us do better in the future. And, you know, the second year of the budget, there's going to be a 5% increase in SEEK. And it would be wonderful, I think, if we could, again, give most of that to teachers. And something very important, I think we should be disappointed with the General Assembly. After really damaging the teachers' retirement system in 2018, this year when the General Assembly had a $2 billion surplus, and was able to give 8% and 12% raises to all state employees, and an 8% raise to themselves, which hadn't been done in a long time. But to give teachers nothing, I don't see how that can be considered anything except punishment for something. So I hope, I agree with this increase. It will help some, it's not enough, and I hope we can do better in the future. And the last thing I want to say is the disclaimer. What I just said was not a promise for a raise next year. I don't make that determination, so I can't say it to camera. I can't promise a raise next year that's made by the board. And we're going to do the best we can to treat all of our staff from top to bottom, like with the dignity that they deserve and for the work that they do.
Not really, but nobody can follow that.
We can't quiet.
All in favor? Aye. I need a motion on item 5D.
Make a motion to consider approval of the year 23 and
Questions here?
want to explain
I think, looking at kind of forecast is also our good meteorologist. So I think we're looking at receipts from the also expenses are going to be up, and obviously the raises are going to measure up, and they increase by forecast about $500,000 increase. That raise will exceed those funds, and that is reflected in this tentative budget, along with some other things we did increase. I talked about earlier in financial work, some utilities, some diesel, gasoline. There is the RUSH grant that we participate in that we could up to about $250,000 in technology funds. We have put $37,000, so that money is included in here. There's some money in here for some the high school lab and equipment and consumer science. And then also, you'll see later, we have on the agenda the renewal for the insurance for property and some other things. And yours personally, it's on as well with the storms of December. Impact of that and cost of inflation to the materials replaced. So that is also reflected in this budget. So it's
I think over the last, like 6 years now, I've asked for us to really examine our budget so that it is a closer reflection of reality, and that it's related to the financial summary that we get every month. And I appreciate the work that you did, Mr. Spalding, to make this tentative budget more reflective of reality. I understand that we've got to be conservative on revenue and kind of plan for the worst case scenario on expenses, but in previous years, our budget has kind of landed our ending balance in a place that this board is not comfortable with. And so if our budget says we're landing in a place that we're not comfortable with, then it would seem we need to have difficult conversations. But in reality, we know that we're landing in a pretty good spot. And so I thank you again for the work that you did to have this reflect a little more realistic.
It's a process.
It's a process. Yes. So, like I said, I've been asking for it for 6 years, and I appreciate that we're seeing it now. So thank you very much.
I would like to thank you for letting me ask you one question.
Part of the process as well.
Well, the better we know, the better we can say yes and move on. So, thank you, I appreciate it.
Other questions, comments here? All in favor? I need a motion on item 5.
Make a motion to consider approval of Cumberland Family Medical Center's school-based satellite clinic agreement.
Mr. Brady, is this still your area?
Well, Tim and I sort of worked together on that. I think he attended the last meeting when this was discussed. The terms are, I think, pretty much equal to what they've been before.
We actually received interest from 2 companies. One failed to follow up. And we found that it did not fail to follow up. And that says a lot.
I will just add that we continue to appreciate our partnership.
Yes.
They've been wonderful.
Yeah, I've had direct contact with their services and direct need for their services, and I think our nurse practitioner in the district does a spectacular job. I can reach out to her anytime, and she's like, well, I'm headed to Calgary today, or I'll be in West Marion for the next little bit, but you can catch me at the high school between this time and this time. And so I think it's a wonderful service, made even better by the people that we have here locally providing that service to our students and families. And so I'm excited to continue this partnership with this organization, and particularly the people that we have here as a part of it. Other questions and comments on this one? All in favor? Aye. I need a motion on item 5F.
Make a motion to consider approval of the 22-23 Roberts Insurance for student accident insurance renewal for $82,476.
I'll second. Scott, you alluded to the increase here.
So actually, this one stayed the same.
Oh, okay.
Same as current year. We've held tight on it, and so it's Robert's Insurance. They've been very good to work with, and we've been a part of it for a long time. So it's the same dollar amount.
Good people here as well. Questions on this one? Okay, all in favor? Aye. I need a motion on item 5G.
Make a motion to consider approval of the 22-23 KDP audit contract.
Anybody want to take this one?
So as you know, it's a requirement by the state each year. They'll come in probably about the second, third week of July, start the process and do the initial audit. And then while we're working in the finance department, we'll close out the year and submit all required annual finance report to KD by July 25th. They'll go through and be here probably about October or November or so, and give you all a report and examine all funds. And any requirements, there was a $1,000 increase in their contract price this year, and that's kind of reflective of everything else. So they had a price increase in some years, so they did make us aware there would be one, and I was pleasantly surprised with the amount. So I would say, I would appreciate it. We continue to go down, and they've done a good job. And they're a great resource that we can all throughout the years. But
Questions here?
Will this be your third one or second or third?
it's my third one. I'm starting to want to change. So they're very complicated. Let me say, they're very thorough. They do a very good job as they should. So $1.
The audit world is shrinking. And the fact that there is a firm in Lebanon that can provide this very required service, we don't have an option. it's a benefit. I can tell you firsthand experience in my wife's school district. She sent out 7 letters to firms requesting that they bid on her audit package. She received response from the one. That world is shrinking, so we're fortunate here to have it.
Other questions, comments here? All in favor? Need a motion on item 5H.
Make a motion to consider approval of acceptance of school photography bid.
Second.
Second.
Okay. Questions here?
I just noticed that light touch did not submit correct. And so that makes us strong.
All in favor of accepting bids? Aye. Now need a motion on item 5I, and this would need to include the name of.
Make a motion to consider approval to award a bid for school photography in Strawbridge.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Need a motion on item 5J.
Make a motion to consider approval of acceptance of soft drink bids.
I'll second. All in favor? Aye. I need a motion on item 5K.
I will make a motion to consider approval to award the bid for soft drink services to Coca-Cola.
I'll second. Thanks for being here, gentlemen. Appreciate your service.
Thank you.
Appreciate your contributions to our school district. We are incredibly grateful for the support that we get from our corporate partners, and so we're thankful that we get to continue this partnership with you guys.
We're glad to be your partner.
Thank you.
All in favor? Aye. I need a motion on item 5L.
Make a motion to consider approval of pay application number 4 to Briggs Enterprises in the $111,823.44 for work performed and $2,659.21 to vendors for materials for the Marion County High School project BG 21-103.
I'll second.
Questions here?
We're sure we got all the, how do you say, bills turned in?
Yes, all the bills that have been turned in are included.
Any more to come?
I'm done.
Any other questions here? All in favor? I need a motion on item 5M.
Make a motion to consider approval of change order number 4 for the Marion County High School Renovation Project BG 21-103 in the amount of $194,475.83.
Mr. Brookshire or Mr. Newrider, would you like to go over the contents that make up this $194,000 plus request?
Yeah, so I'll kind of touch on it briefly. Chris Reeves of CMT Engineers is a little more familiar with the specifics of some of the design of the plumbing system here. So essentially, this is work that we worked with Briggs as well as working with the local fire department as well to kind of understand the needs and how to best serve the school. And after working off the initial amount in coordination with all 3 of those entities, we kind of come to this final change order amount. That's the requirements. And I won't try to butcher the specifics. I'll ask Chris Reeves if he can kind of explain some more specifics since that's in his wheelhouse.
Sure. The biggest piece of this, and I know it's a large dollar amount, the biggest piece of it is we showed the fire protection system tying in at one location in the back of the building. Once they were able to do some excavation, they figured out the pipe size wasn't correct there. So we had to run an additional 230 feet roughly to get to a large enough pipe size. So that was the biggest piece of it. There were several other factors. There was one, that when we met with the fire chief, he had said we needed to add one fire hydrant because of the addition to the school. So that is included in this. And then the third piece, well, there's two more pieces. The fire chief also requested your fire protection for the high school be on a dedicated line, which to accomplish that, we ran, lose my list. So to accomplish that, we ran a new water line to Glasgow. And as one final piece, as part of this, we discovered you have two water lines in front of the building, both from the local water company, but one's a higher pressure. So we disconnected from the lower pressure line, connected to the higher pressure line. So that'll give you just a better, more reliable fire suppression system within your schools. Any questions?
This certainly isn't an area that we want to mess around in, so we understand wholeheartedly that the safety of our students and staff is paramount. Hope we don't have any more $195,000 crisis.
Agreed.
That's a hefty price tag, but safety is of the utmost importance.
Originally, it did start off nearly double that cost. We worked with Mr. Spalding, Mr. Randolph, the fire chief, the contractors, and worked through it to come up with a solution that I think better serves everyone in a lower dollar amount.
I'm not going to revisit various conversations I've had, but as Mrs. Truitt just mentioned, $195,000 in a change order would have been better addressed during the initial bidding process had things been done a little differently regarding the engineering survey. And we want things to continue to be addressed long before we get to this point.
Questions here? All in favor? Aye. I need a motion on item 5N.
Make a motion to consider approval of change order number 5 for the Marion County High School renovation project, DG 21-103, the amount of $9,516.07.
Second. This is a much better number, but would you like to address this one too?
Sure, absolutely. There's 5 or 6 different items that are involved inside this change order here. Do you want to go over each one, or what kind of would you like?
Yeah, go over each one.
Okay, sure.
Please, sir.
So the first one is a credit as a result of the previous change order. We were able to get some credits back by deleting a fire pump room that was originally called for in the school. So there's some credit back for some of the partitions that created that room. The existing vault in the high school, we discovered that there is a concrete lid above the top of it. That was not shown on the existing drawings, so that requires some more careful demolition to remove that. They have to be a little more selective. They can't just kind of just tear it down all at once. So that was a found condition that is included in this change order here. There are some additional utilities that are being provided in the Family Consumer Science Lab. There is an additional circuit for the fluid cooler as it relates to the mechanical service in this project. There is a credit of almost $20,000. The access controls originally were found that they could be scaled back dramatically, so this doesn't put a $20,000 credit back. There are some additional electrical devices that were also included being added back in, some miscellaneous speakers and other small devices as well. And finally, there was a issue with some of the sewer force main. When we were doing excavation for the utilities, found that we kind of have a different alternate routing because some of the existing utilities were found to be a little different elevation than what we thought they were. So there was some work required to kind of route around that.
Credits are good. I like credits. Other questions here? All in favor? Aye. I need a motion on item 5O.
Motion to consider approval of the change order number 2046-06-01 for the Marion County High School renovation project for a credit in the amount of $1,275 $76.
This is in relation to what I mentioned, I'm sorry.
Second.
Sorry. This is in relation to the addition of fire pumper I mentioned earlier. Some of the materials are on DPO, so then we have to account for the credit on that as well.
All in favor? Aye. I need a motion on item 5E.
Motion to consider approval of school security fund request application in the amount of $8,474, $7,640 for Marion County High, and $834 for Marion County Area Technology Center.
So, if you remember, previously, you all approved one a couple months ago for hardware, not academy change orders. This fund was set aside part of Senate Bill 1, 2019, school safety, very limited what we use the funds on. Mr. Mills, I think you said, is there anything else we can use it on? So I started exploring and digging deeper and worked with the contractor and called KDE. They're going to let us go on the portion for the high school to $7,600. It's going to be all the cameras and access control for the new security vessel that's part of this project. So it was actually included in this project, so at a later date, we'll be getting another credit change order to remove that project, including in our own. So the state's going to pay for that portion of that, so it's going to reduce that. And then the $834 for the ATC is, they have a master station at the desk there that they can release and talk to see who's coming in their buildings. They have a lot of in and out traffic there because of the nature of the business there. So that's when they have us there for routes where lights is for these security funds. So it's kind of like a rebate program, we're getting dollar back.
Thanks, Terry, for asking the question. Other questions here? All in favor? I need a motion on item 5Q.
Make a motion to consider approval of the fiscal year 23 pledge of collateral.
So, this used to be referred to as a bond and depository, and this is basically selecting who will be doing our banking with for fiscal year 23. The proposed here is to continue with Citizens National Bank, and what this pledge collateral is, it shows they had the bonds and the backing that secures the bonds that we do have deposits there. Currently, it's higher than typical because we do the bond sales for the high school projects. Normally, we look at, they had to show they can buy $20 million, and that's more than it is a little $30 million. So this pledge collateral is the documentation showing they do have the backing to secure and back our funds in the event of an event. And the KD requires us to be uploaded and sent to them for documentation purposes.
No questions here? All in favor? Aye. I need a motion on item 5R.
Motion to consider approval of fiscal year 22 site-based decision-making carry forward of remaining funds.
So we're doing the up to 5%. I know we've had questions in the past about these monies being intended for the students that are at that school in that year.
So they cap 5% or less.
Other questions?
Are we finding that they're using
Yes,
most of it?
yes, they are. And then,
Okay.
if there's anything over 5%, we're going to be back. So they're definitely doing it, trying to plan ahead and things like that. So they really, last year was an exception to the rule because it wasn't at school to be able to spend those money on those students that wasn't there. So last year we did ask for a waiver to exceed 5%. This year they've done a great job of spending the money, getting down to that 30 or less.
Other questions here? All in favor? Aye. I need a motion on item 5S. I'll make a motion, we consider approval of payout number 1 to CMTA Energy Solutions in the amount $331,632.18 for work performed on the West Marion and Glasscock HVAC replacement project BG number 22-283. Anybody want to?
The main thing on this is a lot of the engineering design based, since it's a performance contract, that's part of the contract itself that's being broken out. And then also part of the work that we're going to look to is submitted for the work going on after hours at West Marion.
it being a performance contract, there's a special benefit issue, or they ask for it will, for it to come out profitable for CMCH.
Questions here? All in favor? Aye. I need a motion on item 5T.
Make a motion to consider approval of the 22-23 school fees attachments.
Oh. Are we seeing increases here?
No, I think what you're gonna see is there's more opportunities, during the rate there, some of them are being eliminated, they're cleaned up, that were no longer, utilized, and so we want to be more working documents reflective of the opportunities and activities that were offered in our school.
I'd like to make a comment on that. I'd like to see all these fees be done away with, and as far, we have so many kids and parents that cannot afford. I really have a problem with them, but I understand why they're there, because they need to hold that interest.
They get either consumables or they get some materials, clothing or consumables or a club, art project, whatnot, and there are some exceptions to the rules of agreements on some applications, but there's assistance there.
As well, I think I've asked this question in the past, as long as the parents and the students know that there are alleys and avenues.
They will be denied opportunity.
Right.
That's important.
It is, that's very important. Yes.
Now, these are adult fees, like look at Marion County High, adult admission fees, students, religious students, under the Marion County High School.
So the way this works is I send this to the principals, and they send it back to the administrator. It was adult fee, there's adult fee.
$5 each for freshmen, JV, and JV. But I don't like students having to pay.
Either or not. Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, follow up on that, because I don't think that I've attended a handful of soccer matches this season, and there are fees for adults. I believe they're $6, but it very likely includes the $1 to cover the GoFan fees that were charged, and so the actual ticket price is $5, and then there is a charge for students. It's less than the adult fees, of course, but yeah, if you guys would confirm, that'd be great.
No cash policy, you have to go through that system. You still have to do that. That's the only thing you do.
No restrictions so far. It is, I agree, I understand what you're referring to. For finance world, it's a very security blanket. There's no cash, there's no opportunity for dishonesty, accountability, and there's no student gain, money to keep up with high school or any school. So, yeah, we can look at that.
Yeah, well, I know several adults who got to the gate and said, I don't know nothing about it. Sure. But we had that up in free. So, I wonder with COVID, hopefully on the way out. And I know you got manpower costs collecting and all that. And it's another computer company that's gonna make a nice fee off of it. So,
Marion County could probably sell some sort of, like a gift card you could buy.
The commercial is how it's available.
Yes.
Time.
this month's goes.
No, it's student activity funds.
Another question on here is about transcripts. Do the kids get them first time free and then they?
Right, there's, those are $5 replacement fees when they go after later in life, they lose it, come back and have like certification or verification or employment or something like that. That's $5.
Yeah. I'm like everyone else, I know our principal did a good job, counselors, whatever. It's not to be a student who can't afford fees to not be able to be included in the extracurricular. And I know coaches do a good job about fundraisers and things, but
That's my only concern, and I think it's a concern too. Some kids won't even ask because they know they can't pay it.
Mr. Smith, I think I can answer your question here. At the middle school, I wouldn't even check my high school, you're right.
Well, while we're on it, the boosters club, I know one booster club that has, they go around today for money, as you know. And told me they were getting a lot of comment from businesses saying, they tell them what money, and they say, well, why didn't the school system pay for that? I guess the reason I bring it up is I hope we'll make sure we're providing all funds that the school system should pay for, like facilities and so forth. And if the boosters club will be extra over and above, sure, what the kid will get on the system. Just a comment.
Other questions, comments? All in favor? Aye. Need a motion on item 5U.
Make a motion to consider approval to renew annual contract with Micro Analytics for semi-annual environmental compliance inspections and report record management.
This is the company that does our asbestos inspections and abatement procedures. Very good.
Yes. Questions here? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Need a motion on item 5B. I'll make a motion to consider approval of the 22-23 Kerrville Heat Night Insurance for property, general liability, my favorite inland marine, crime, vehicle errors and omission, SMNM, law enforcement workers' compensation, cyber liability, and umbrella from KEMI Liberty Mutual for $453,178. Inland marine still. All right. Well, I want to get a bonus.
Yeah, right. So this is what I was referring to overall. There's multiple insurances in there. You see, we actually did go down, Mr. Birdie and I worked with Cornell, not our house insurance group now. They're the carrier, they're our agent, they shop around with us, and they found us a cheaper work comp covers. So this past year, currently we're now paying $96,000, we're reducing it to $76,000. That has to do with a different company as well as our, the rating system they use is dropped by 24% as well. So that helps get a better rating on that. The auto's up by $6,000, the umbrella insurance is up by $4,000, and the rest is a lot to do with the weather we experienced recently, and also the cost of inflation for materials to replace those kind of things and again other loss.
Thank you, Scott. Questions? All in favor? Aye. I need a motion on item 5W.
I'll make a motion to consider approval of the 100% design development documents for the new Calgary Elementary School project, PG 22-052.
Brookshire, would you please explain what 100 design development means before, please?
Yeah, so in general, there are 3 phases of the design. You've got schematic design, which you all have approved previously. You've got design development, which we're presenting tonight, which is basically 35% of the overall design completion. And assuming that you all approve design development, we will be moving into the construction document phase. Construction document phase is all the details and technical specifications that are required to tell the contractor what to and how to build the project. So we will be back before you in the future with 100% construction document CDs, but tonight we're presenting design development for both Calgary and Lebanon further in your agenda tonight.
Questions here? It's a pretty significant document. It's a pretty exciting document, and if I could ask our staff, our community is eager. We still get questions about what the world's going on in front of the high school, and is that where the pool's going to be? Seriously, I got that question. Is that where the pool's going to be? So if our staff could kind of provide this update, Mr. Brookshire, would be great if you could be interviewed and videoed explaining that to our community as well. And provide that to them, because we want to make sure that we are communicating with our community and letting them know where we are, because this has been a long time coming, and every little bit is exciting. So it's just one more thing to cross on the list is progress made. So any way that we can promote this, I would be all for it.
Absolutely.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Be in touch.
Any other questions, comments here? Okay. All in favor? Aye. I need a motion on item 5X. I'll make a motion to consider approval of the BG2 and BG3 forms for the new Calgary Elementary School project BG number 22-52.
I will second.
Madam Chair, may I make a comment?
Yes.
Wow. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And how much more than the original?
Just south of $7 million. That's right.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm still wowing too.
I think that's commentary, not that I can't be followed, really. Yeah. So, any other questions, comments here? Okay, all in favor? Aye. I need a motion on item 5Y.
Make a motion to consider approval of the 100% design development documents for the Lebanon Elementary Renovation and Addition Project BG 22-053.
I'll second. Mr. Brookshire, you want to take this one too?
Sure. These are the same documents that we just talked about for Calgary, except for the Lebanon Elementary Renovation Edition. As you are well aware, we are proposing a significant renovation to the existing facility as well as an addition of a gymnasium to satisfy the KD model program requirements for that space, because Lebanon does not currently have that space to share cafeteria, gym
a cafetorium. Yep, there you go.
So this is the design development documents for that. And again, assuming that the board approves these documents, we'll be moving into construction documents, the same as we are for Calgary. It will be back before the board to present those documents to you. And then the second part of that is the BG2 and 3. I know that's the next one. The BG2 is the technical specs, and the BG3 is the cost estimate, the updated cost estimate for that project, which, as a note, has not increased as significantly as the Calgary Elementary School project has.
The walls you build from scratch cost more.
Other questions and comments here? All in favor?
Aye.
I need a motion on item 5Z.
Consider approval of the BG2 and BG3 forms for Lebanon Elementary Renovation and Addition Project BG 22-053.
Mr. Brookshire, reference for information. Mr. Randolph, is there anything you want to add?
Ma'am, it's as Mr. Brookshire pointed out, because it's a renovation and not building from scratch, the cost still went up $900,000 thereabouts. Maybe just a little bit more than that. And of course, we don't know how inflation and whatnot is going to be impacting this in the process, so we have plenty to work on.
Questions here?
Just how far out would we be from getting actual bids? From those numbers?
We're a few months from actually going out to bid, and we'll be presenting to the construction documents to you in a couple months, and then we'll be going out to bid following that. So it'll be at least 3 months before we actually have hard numbers from contractors. And as Mr. Randolph said, who has a crystal ball to know exactly what's going to happen here in the next little bit. Construction costs have continued to go up, unfortunately. I'm sure everybody's aware of that falling in the marketplace. And when we present construction documents to you on both of these projects, we will also be presenting our suggestions relative to alternates that can be considered and identified in each of these projects. so that the board can make decisions on, pieces that we can maybe break out as an alternate, that the board could consider, doing or not doing.
So you'll be in touch with the fire departments and everything to make sure
Yes,
all that. Okay.
We're nothing if not lesson learners, guys, nothing if not that. Any other questions here? All in favor? I need a motion on item 6.
Make a motion for student learning and support consent items.
All in favor? Aye. Sorry, so many pieces of paper got lost for a second. Item 7 is acknowledgement of personnel actions, so acknowledged, and I need a motion on item 8. Bills. It's time to shine, buddy, it's time to shine.
Madam Chairman, I would like to make a motion to
Second. Thank you, sir. All in favor?
Aye.